Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steve and Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson to sign up. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we've got your rundown for AEW Dynamite on the road to Revolution. We're about a week and change away from that. We've also got NXT on the road to Roadblock, which is coming up next week. When is that?
Week? No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Shaping up to be.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
That's right. Shaping up to be an NXT TNA Worlds Collide-ish show. So we're going to talk about that as well. However, let's go ahead and kick things off today. Larson, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Do you like these 3-hour Smackdowns?
Can't say that I do.
Well, you're in good company or bad company, depending on who the people are at WWE who don't like 3-hour Smackdowns. Also, allegedly, what's going on with this, Larson?
So, of course, we've been bemoaning kind of lackluster creative on SmackDown since it's gone to 3 hours for the most part. And apparently we're not the only ones who aren't into it, according to WrestleVotes. There are people within WWE who aren't fans of the Blue brand's move to 3-hour shows. On the latest WrestleVotes podcast, Bob WrestleVotes said the following. These transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. We are told several within the company strongly dislike the 3-hour SmackDown format, as those sources feel like the quality of the show has dipped in the last 2 months. Prior to the expansion, there was optimism and belief that some unutilized talents would be able to shine, considering the extra hour. However, that has not come to fruition as of yet. SmackDown is still scheduled to return to 2 hours come this June. June cannot come fast enough as far as the fortunes of one SmackDown on USA Network. I kind of feel like Raw is occupying that sweet spot in terms of length of wrestling show. Who would have thought 2.5 hours for a weekly wrestling show was kind of it?
Sure, yeah.
Sometimes you watch a show and you're like, gosh, 2 hours just isn't enough. And then you watch SmackDown some weeks like, gosh, 3 hours is way too much. And you find that middle ground. And part of it, too, is Raw knows how to use all the pieces they have to weave, for the most part. It's not perfect. But by and large, your weekly episode of Raw is more entertaining than your weekly episode of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, whether it's the depth of the roster, the characters they have on the show, whatever the case it is, stories they're telling, some combination thereof, they know how to take those ingredients on Raw and put together, by and large, a more enjoyable weekly show than whatever they're doing over on SmackDown.
You know, dude, I don't know if this is a matter of, because I know there's been some change. I don't know exactly when Road Dogg's shift as like lead SmackDown writer was supposed to begin or whatever, because I know that was a thing relatively recently. I don't know what the situation is there. It might stand to reason that you've got, for the longest time, a 2-hour SmackDown, and with Raw, the 2.5 hour deal it seems to be just because like that's like ideal for what Triple H wants to do. He just sort of is like, you know what, 3 hours too much, 2 hours not enough. We've got a bigger roster here, and we're used to the long. I know they did a 2-hour Raw for 3 months there, but they're used to the 3-hour time frame. With SmackDown, it's been 2 hours for the longest time, like since its inception. And so to go to 3 hours, I mean, it might stand to reason that crew, who had been for as long as this crew's been around, had been 2 hours. And now to bump it up to 3 hours, it's not as simple as let's just add more wrestling. But that's kind of what they did.
It's kind of what they've been doing.
In lieu of, hey, let's take these 3-hour episodes and weave some stories like they do effectively on Raw, weave some stories when it's good. Weave some stories throughout the episodes instead of just segments. It all feels very segmented. And you and I have always talked about how the episodes, the weekly television, is the best when it all feels like one big world.
And I'll say this, just a tangent here, especially the beginning of Dynamite last night, had that feel.
Yeah.
Because there's a really frenetic open, bunch of stuff happening, interweaving a bunch of different storylines.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the case with any wrestling, is when a lot of different things kind of collide or interact, even in a tangential way. It just feels like you're getting more out of your viewing experience.
I mean, it feels like a more vibrant experience.
Yeah.
It feels
And
more
like with
kinetic and unpredictable. Yeah.
with Raw prior to Netflix and prior to, I'd say, SummerSlam, I guess, you had the Judgment Day A story that, and Rhea Ripley specifically, would kind of be woven through a bunch of different segments throughout Raw, and it would kind of tie it together. And SmackDown, without a strong A story, the Bloodline story, without that to anchor it, where it's got like tendrils, it's just like, island, 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 island. It's a collection of islands, and none of it is terribly compelling. I mean, the only thing that's really been overly compelling has been Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, when that was a feud for like 2 months.
Yeah.
That stuff was pretty darn good.
I thought when they were having Bailey, before Tiffany cashed in on Nia, where he had Bianca, Naomi, Bailey, obviously Tiffany, and Nia, who was champion at the time, all kind of in the title picture.
Sure.
That was shortly after Jade was attacked. I thought that was some good stuff.
Yeah, it hasn't all been, here's the thing, it hasn't all been bad. It's just none of it is terribly compelling. And it's like, all right, you wheel out the, like the tag division right now. It's they're all incredibly talented performers, but Ciampa and Gargano, for example, who are, I guess, kind of the anchors of that division. They're the champions, and they're, I think, displaying the most personality, minus maybe the Street Profits, who are kind of new to the attitude change thing. And they're just kind of doing bad for being bad. They're just bad guys to be bad guys, as opposed to, any characters with like dimension. I mean, LA Knight is, shifting over to the US title division. LA Knight, his charm is being one-dimensional, but then you've got Shinsuke, who's also a one-dimensional bad guy. And, you got one guy who really you could feature as a multi-dimensional character, because we've seen in the past is Carmelo Hayes, but like now they stick him in a tag team with The Miz, which will be entertaining. And I think they'll probably do a thing where they'll get over with the crowd. And when that's at its hottest, hopefully, instead of waiting forever, they'll have Carmelo ruin it all and turn on The Miz. And then you have a pretty good feud set up there. But I don't know, that's me fantasy booking, I guess. I think there's a reasonable possibility to do that. But in the meantime, it's just not the most compelling thing in the world. It's mildly entertaining.
It at its best, it's mildly entertaining. And like, I can appreciate the nuances of the story they're doing with Cody in terms of this title driving a wedge between himself and all his friends. It still needs some huge dramatic moments.
Yeah, it does.
And arguably the most dramatic moment of that entire story happened after a show. Mm-hmm. It's when Kevin Owens hit him with the package pile driver after Saturday night's main event. And it's like, you close. Like, I understand to a degree the rationale of doing that, because it gets people talking. You get the footage going around online. You get Triple H pushing Kevin Owens, all that kind of stuff. Imagine if that had closed an episode of SmackDown. Mm-hmm. That would have got people talking. Triple H coming out pushing Kevin Owens, that never happens.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Now, the problem is, we're really talking, what we're talking about wouldn't be so bad, and it wasn't that bad when we were dealing with 2-hour SmackDowns. When you expand that to a 3-hour SmackDown, it just exposes the bigger issues with the booking, because what we're talking about is just poor storytelling. Yeah. But like, it's really exposed when you expand that out to 3 hours. In a 2-hour block, it's like, okay, well, that's not too bad.
It's two things. It's that, and also so many times when you had something as strong as the Bloodline stuff being the through line through entire episodes. It covers up
Mm-hmm.
some of the other deficiencies from the creative end of things in terms of the stories they're telling on the show because the Bloodline stuff was so strong. Same, you mentioned Judgment Day.
Yeah.
When they were the A story on Raw, when what they were doing week in and week out was really intriguing stuff, they broke up. Everything that's happened since, not as intriguing as what came before it. And yes, while it's still at times entertaining, it doesn't have the same type of intrigue that it did before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting in terms of how WWE's approach is seemingly Triple H likes to have that A story that carries the show.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think that's what he wants. And I think that's what he thinks he has with Cody now in the title as Wedge storyline. And then you got kind of everybody in the orbit of Punk over on Raw. You got Seth. I guess Drew's over on SmackDown now. But those are kind of like the two main stories they're telling on the respective shows. And while there's good stuff in each, neither of them are of the quality of the Bloodline stuff.
I will say this. Well, that's a tall task.
It
I
is.
will say this. I do think that there are probably right now enough pieces being set up so that we can have some good stuff to look forward to probably like post-Mania. There was a report to it's been advertised as of today that Roman's coming back in 3 weeks.
Well,
about a month out from WrestleMania.
They're advertising him for 2 of the European dates before WrestleMania.
Correct. Yeah, March 21st
And I didn't
28th.
necessarily take that announcement to mean that he's not going to come back before that. You know what I mean? I think they want to drive ticket sales for those shows, those European dates. So I guess that's why they announced him for those shows.
I thought the same thing, but at the same time, why wouldn't they want to drive ticket sales for shows before then?
Don't you pay
thing.
attention, Steve? Every show's a sellout now.
I don't think it is.
They continually set new gate records because they keep jacking up the prices for those tickets.
Yeah, that's gonna. I think that's already reached its ceiling because I don't think. I mean, I could be completely wrong about this. I just look at WrestleTix and I kind of noticed that like, oh, there's like a couple hundred.
They
seats
haven't been saying this is our, whatever number sellout in a row.
They love to say that shit.
They do say, oh, there's 12,000, 13,000, 14,000.
Oh, the numbers are great. The numbers are great. They still are. I mean, the numbers are great. But like you're right, they haven't been saying, "Oh, this is the sellout. This is the largest gate. This is the largest SmackDown." And I think because it's I'm not saying it's cold at all in any way, shape, or form. You can't have 13,000 people there and say it's cold.
No, tickets are too damn expensive.
Tickets are too expensive. But here's the thing: that wouldn't matter if it was on fire. I don't think it would because they were selling out.
I think there's an equilibrium there to company doing really well and taking advantage of that to make more money. But at a certain point, if you just keep jacking up ticket prices, you're going to price out a large portion of your fan base, and it's going to slow down ticket sales.
Hey, they might be in a heat check moment right now where they're like, let's see if we can jack them all the way up to this, and they're
finding
finding out.
Second deck, $1,000.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, it's cooled off. And I think that when things cool off, fan interest will cool off and you'll be left with 300 or 400 extra tickets in a 15,000 seat venue or 14,000 seat venue or whatever.
But compared to where they were like 4 years ago, I think th'd be more than happy with 300 or 400 empty seats as opposed to several thousand.
Absolutely. That's why I'm not saying that they're cold. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think that by the time we hit, so getting back to the Roman thing, like, yeah, I don't know. Look, it's entirely possible he shows up at Chamber and somehow, some way screws over Seth and Punk. Or just Seth. I don't know. I do think, though, that like them saying, hey, he's going to be here on the European tour. You're absolutely right. It's there to sell tickets. I think they probably would do the same thing if he was going to come back sooner, but maybe not. Maybe there'll be like some surprise shit. Usually they like to use him to sell tickets. But if that's the case, if he doesn't return until those taped episodes of SmackDown,
yeah.
Are those live? Do we know? Are those going to be live internationally for Netflix viewers?
I think so.
Ooh.
I think when they signed the Netflix deal, one of the details that got out was that it airs live around the world.
Yeah.
Whenever it happens.
Nice.
So I guess if it's at 8:00,
1 p.m. SmackDown review, man.
In Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? It's noon here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
noon or 1 here. So I guess, yeah, we could do same-day SmackDown reviews.
Come on over. Come on over, watch it live, and we'll do an in-person live review.
There we go.
Man.
I guess we do same-day SmackDown reviews, but you know what I mean. In the day SmackDown reviews.
That can be done by 3 o'clock. Get to enjoy Friday night. That's kind of nice.
There we go. That'd be great.
Yeah, man.
That's our March.
That's our March right
March.
there. Yeah. Speaking of March, the March Predictions Challenge is on and happening. That's right. Elimination Chamber on the 1st of the month. And you want to get in on that Big Blue Predictions Challenge so you can win Big Blue Hat. Still haven't made the damn thing. I need to do it. I was so on top of that before, too. I know. It's coming up. I'll whip it up today. But yeah, is the form up? Is the predictions form up?
Yep, it's up as of yesterday morning.
All right.
Got some great prop bets courtesy of our Google Forms wizard, Cody Miles. Thank you, Cody, as always, for putting these all together. We cannot do predictions without Cody.
So if you want to dethrone Ram Your Mommy as the new Big Blue Predictions Champion and enter the Hall of Champions, then it's really easy to do. We offer 2 ways to get in on the action. It's the Friendo Club setup. Either go to patreon.com/Stephen Larson and click on the Friendo Club setup. It's $5 a month to get access to the question threads, bonus episodes, and Big Blue Predictions Challenge. Or click join right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. Again, it's $5 a month to get access to all that stuff I just mentioned. Plus, of course, access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. And, of course, come April, the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge.
Show the belt, Steve. Don't cut yourself. Show the belt.
Where the CM Punk Pakistan Signature Series bootleg title will be on the line. There it is right there. Earlier today, this might not even be attached. Yeah, this isn't even attached right now. Look at this. Looks so unsafe. It's just, I think it's like a magnet. Look at this fucking thing, dude. This is the prize. This is the most Stephen Larson prize.
It kind of is. It is a metaphor for the show, isn't it?
There we go. I got it back on.
It's weighted though, so it always, you spin it, but it always settles back down at the bottom.
You can also use this for a good weapon of self-defense. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that thing will cut people.
Somebody rushes you, you could do one of 2 things. You go like that, and then it'll be like blood spurting, or just chuck it at their head. Something will happen. Something bad will happen to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
All right, you want to talk about AEW? I thought of something while we were talking about Triple H liking his saga, his A story. It's interesting that Dynamite, to a large extent, minimized the role of their A story, and their show got exponentially better.
Yeah.
They're focusing on the more interesting characters and stories, and Dynamite as a whole over the last 3-4 weeks has been much more enjoyable. MJF, Hangman stuff, really good. Ricochet Swerve, really good. Now they minimize the role of Death Riders and kind of simplify the story. Even that's not terrible.
Here's the thing, though. I honestly think, and this is not a knock at all, but they kind of just WWE'd up the story a little bit, and you get 2 former WWE guys in there, and it's just, that's what they do. They keep it simple. Cope, I think, is very comfortable in a situation where he's dealing with another old veteran like Mox. And it's just a very normal pay-per-view build for a title match where it's, push and shove and one guy gets the upper hand and the other guy gets the upper hand and one guy's on the, it's very simple stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it effective. Cope they're not overthinking it now because, it's Cope. You don't overthink things. He's just going to be him. And it works. And they're not doing too much of it. Like you said, they're kind of, I don't even say they're minimizing it compared to what it was before. I think it's being minimized.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like it doesn't have a central role in the show. It's just not consuming the show.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right.
There were some weeks it's like every 2 segments there was some Death Riders thing, and it was just monotonous and formulaic. So I didn't expect, if you told me, I don't know, a month ago, whenever Cope got involved in this, that is Cope going to somehow make the Death Rider story a bit more interesting, I just said no chance in hell.
Yeah,
I said if anything, it's going to make it worse because, Cope sometimes just doesn't do the most, in my opinion, intriguing work.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's simple. It's effective. It doesn't overstay its welcome. and it's worked for the most part.
What were the first? So they did He did the big fatal 4-way,
Yeah,
which like everybody kind of just canceled each other out in terms of like building up like a true mano a mano type thing.
yeah.
What
And now Jay White's sidekick, which is still
preceded that was Orange Cassidy, and it was like, that's not really gonna go anywhere. And so now it's like you actually have somebody who's kind of on Mox's level, and it works. It just sort of works. Be interesting to see where they go after Revolution. I feel like Cope's obviously.
well. I think we know to a degree because signed for Revolution is Swerve versus Ricochet with stipulation the winner will be #1 contender for the AEW World Championship.
Yeah.
Now, since Ricochet picked up a win already against Swerve, and Prince Nana told Swerve last night, if you don't get my robe back, we're done. Swerve has to win that match.
Yeah, of course, absolutely, yeah.
And he'll face Mox at Dynasty
Okay.
for the title, I would imagine, unless they do it on Dynamite, which is entirely possible.
Oh, they're not good. That's not going to be on.
I wouldn't think so because Swerve versus Mox is a money match. I would then imagine that Ricochet is going to cost Swerve the title during that match.
Mm-hmm.
And then Swerve and Ricochet will go and have a third rubber match, which I would imagine Swerve would then go win, perhaps a stipulation type deal.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Once we get to that point, Swerve and Mox, are they going to be on Death Riders Island or Swerve Island?
Gosh, I hope it's Swerve Island.
You got to figure it would be.
Swerve seems to have a very heavy hand in whatever he's involved in.
Yeah, yeah. But then it could turn into like a Swerve Lashley situation where it wasn't all that intriguing, and then they just sort of dropped it, after
It wasn't
he took
that
a
intriguing
loss.
because they dropped it.
Yeah, there was a lot more they could have done with it, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks. They have the match done.
That being said, though, it could be the same thing here. When is Dynasty? April?
Early April.
Boy, what they should do is just hold off on, like, what if they do it too? Well, what they should do is have Swerve win the title at Double or Nothing. That's what they should do. Do the first match of Dynasty. Maybe Ricochet does get involved in that, and then they do like a steel cage or something. Mox versus Swerve. Swerve wins. I don't know. I have no idea what the plans are, but that'd be kind of cool because there's also
the plan
something.
is Darby winning it all in. What are you talking about?
There was also something that Prince Nana said to Swerve, which I thought was interesting and maybe a little Easter egg. He said, "I want you to go back to being the most dangerous man in the company." And maybe if Swerve and Mox kind of up the violence level, which we know they're both very capable of, maybe they could build that crescendo and do what they should do, Larson, and that's put that title back on Swerve. Have Swerve save AEW.
I would be so happy to see that title back on Swerve.
Same. Whether or not they go ahead with the plan for a post-Everest Derby, he comes back. What if he comes back and he's like, he's all into meditation and shit. He's like, I found a new way.
So Tyler Bate. You're saying Tyler Bate.
Yeah, at the top of Everest. I found life up there.
He's like, he comes back. He's like, I'm done with wrestling.
He has like,
I found a new path in life.
He just comes back and just catch can. None of the crazy shit.
Oh, mat base.
He was like, I was practicing wrestling with some Tibetan monks. Oh, yeah. That sounds terrible. That'd be an awful idea. Anyways.
Darby's a good mat wrestler.
Yeah, he's a good mat wrestler, but I don't think that'd be really all that interesting. MJF got his little tattoo removed.
Well, that's what we're led to believe.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Have you ever seen video footage of a person having the laser removal, the tattoo laser removal?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't quite look like they did it on Dynamite, does it?
No, it looks like they had his other leg that didn't have the tattoo on it. They shot it a couple times to give you the impression that he got it removed, but it looked like just there was nothing there to begin with.
Yeah, usually there's like scarring and you can still see, like, it takes time.
Well, I think sometimes it takes multiple sessions based on the tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just like shine a little, it does sound like that, like that. But you can see there's a whole lot going on there, and this was just like clean ankle. This laser surgery guy was outstanding. If this was a shoot,
the finest, most advanced tattoo removing technology.
Yeah. I thought that at first I thought, because I was looking, I was like, is he getting it covered up? And I'm like, this looks like a clinic. This doesn't look like a tattoo parlor. I don't think he's getting a cover up job.
No.
But if he were to get it covered up, what do you think it should have been? He said he was betting on himself.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, because he has the poker chip with AEW on the inside, right? Just take out the AEW initials, put his initials.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. MJF. There you go. Jimmy Thomas wants to know, the real question is, was the tattoo ever there for real in the first place? Didn't he show it off?
Legit. Yeah, he did show it off.
Showed it off.
It looked pretty legit.
Yeah, I think that was real. But I think it's probably still there.
It's still there.
Unless maybe he's going to get it. Maybe the idea is he's going to get it lasered off, but like they couldn't bring cameras in or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
He definitely didn't in this segment. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah. You think it hurts? The laser stuff? The laser
you're getting a laser shot into your flesh. I'm sure it doesn't feel great.
I had laser shot in my eyes once.
Yeah.
But they put
But they numb your eyes before they do that, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. It's a gnarly ass. You know, I've seen like a lot of people on TikTok say that like they've had, after LASIK, they've had like intense pain. I never had that before. I guess I was lucky, or they were just unlucky. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, no. You seem to have like just about as perfect as the LASIK experience as one can imagine. No pain. You haven't had it retouched. You haven't had your eyes touched up at all, right? It's supposed to be like 10 years.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was. I had just turned 30, I think. So, goddamn, it was like almost 17 years ago. I can see still great. My night vision's not great.
That's
I'm driving around.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
That comes with age.
Yeah. So yeah, no, mine, thank goodness, So, anyway.
Still tops. All right. Let's jump into Dynamite. Early on the show, I think it opens the show kind of. MJF has his promo. Sorry, Cope opened the show with the Cope ambulance. We'll get to that in a second. So MJF has his brief promo where he's getting his AEW tattoo removed, or so we're supposed to believe. And so he's talking about Hangman. Says, I've watched it on as hypocrites have cheered you on. You're a phony. While I'm right here, you people are spoiled. You get to watch the best to ever do it. Instead, you choose him. I used to believe in those letters, AEW. Now the only three letters that matter to me are MJF. So then cut to Hangman pulling into the parking lot. He's got a Rivian electric truck.
But he's got it all decked out with the horns.
The horns on there, yeah.
Yeah.
So he walks past Cope's ambulance. More on that later. Comes to the arena. He walks just right into the ring. Take on Aaron Solo. Wins that super quick with the buckshot lariat. He grabs a mic and a chair. Gets in the ring and says, there are three things that I hate in this world. And it's running out of biscuits, English ivy, and when a little bitch with a leaky spray tan spits in my face. So I'm going to sit right here until someone finds me MJF. And they drag him into this ring and give him the ass beating of a lifetime. So he takes a seat, waits a minute. MJF's music hits. He makes his entrance, wiping blood off his hands. So he takes a mic and says, Hangman, do you want to fight me now? Are you nuts? You're heartless. I'm not fighting you right now. I don't even know if I have a prayer at Revolution. I'm going to go back to Long Island and train, and I'm going to get ready for this match. And he goes, oh my gosh, silly me. I forgot why I came out here in the first place. I'm awfully worried about your friend, Hangman. You should probably check on him. I guess now is the part where we find out who's real. So he throws down the mic, walks through the heel tunnel. The camera cuts to a bloody Christopher Daniels backstage.
Very, very, very quick shot of him doing the blade job.
I mean, he bled quick then, if that's...
Yeah, he might have been doing the thing where he's punching it so that it like makes it worse.
Kind of leaks some more, yeah.
Yeah.
So Paige grabs his chair and then walks backstage using the face tunnel. He made his entrance to the heel tunnel before the match.
Mm-hmm.
Walks back through the face tunnel, looks for MJF. He finds Daniels, calls over for medical to check on him. Later on, we get backstage. Renee stops Hangman, and Paige says, after he's been looking for MJF, he says, MJF is gone. He left. Max, when I find you, if I don't run you over, you'll wish that I had. So he gets back in his Rivian truck and drives away.
Yep. He's going to run him over, man. That'd be an interesting
Is that how
visual.
their match at Revolution is going to begin? Is Paige chasing down MJF in his electric truck?
That could be. I think they do like a stunt thing where MJF gets hit by a car. Get some stuntman in there. Like one of them obvious stuntmans though,
Yeah.
Anyways. We mentioned also earlier Ricochet versus Swerve has been booked for Revolution, but Ricochet had to be convinced of this. We see a Ricochet video package, really nice one, ahead of Swerve making his entrance with Nana. Swerve gets on the mic. He says, y'all know whose house this is, and that's exactly What I made it the second I stepped into AEW 3 years ago at Revolution. I told Shivani I was going to win the AEW Championship Gold. He said, it's fitting that we're wrapping up Black History Month because I made Black History when I fulfilled my density and became AEW champ. Destiny. Night in and night out, I not only defended that title, I showcased it to the world. All the way to the biggest showcase in wrestling, AEW All In. I'm no one-hit wonder, but my man Nana, he was right 2 weeks ago when he said that title hasn't been my focus for far too long. Make no mistake about it, I'm still the man around here, the best wrestler in the world. In order to prove that, I need gold around my waist. But in order for that to happen, there are some wrongs I need to right, and one of those wrongs is a bald-headed, bifocal, glasses-wearing idiot walking around with something that doesn't belong to him. That man's name is Trevor Mann, Ricochet. He says, Ricochet, you say we're done, but no. We're done when I say we're done. You think a low blow victory, but then he's interrupted by Ricochet, who still has on Jimmy Rave's robe. He's wearing also, he's got a baseball cap on backwards, and he reveals that here in a moment. And he says, Swerve, are you done? I told you I was done with you. You had your chance, I won, and winners don't chase losers. I understand no one in this building understands that feeling because the Padres suck ass. Hell, even the Chargers deserted this broke-ass town. He says, what I'm chasing is gold. I'm chasing you'll never be in this company again, a champ. He says, so no, I'm not going to face you tonight. Not ever. He says, actually, next time you see me, I will have gold around my waist.
So he turns the hat around, and it's an Eagles Super Bowl champion hat.
Mm-hmm, that's right, yeah. So Nana interrupts. He says, I've got an offer for you that you might want to consider. I had a talk with Tony Khan earlier, and he agrees that these fans deserve the rematch. He says, whoever wins, if you accept this rematch, whoever wins the match will be number one contender for the AEW title. Ricochet's like, whoa. He's like, damn it, Nana, I give you credit. You're saying all I got to do is whoop Swerve's ass one more time, and my ticket is punched to become the next champion? He says, can I get a aha? Because you're wrong. He says, obviously, we're not doing it tonight. I'm not doing it for these people. So what we're going to do is a real California city. And I was thinking, Larson, Sacramento is coming up next week.
State capital. Come on.
That's the go home for Revolution, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they're going to do it at Revolution.
Of course, it's a pay-per-view match. So yeah.
Probably a smart move. So Swerve's about to leave. Nana says, hey, I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad that you're taking the steps to thinking about the AEW title, making it number one priority. But I need you to go back to being who these fans say you are. Go back to being who you are, who you say you are. Hell, I want you to go back to who I say you are, the most dangerous man in AEW. But I've taken a lot of bullets for you. Hangman, Sting, the Hurt Syndicate, Ricochet. To see Ricochet walk around in my legacy, my robe, was something that means so much to this business. Swerve, I need you to get my robe back, or I don't know if I could do this anymore. And he drops the mic and he goes, and Swerve's like, whoa, what? I got to get the robe back.
Yep.
It was good. Nana's so good when he's serious, man. He's so good.
He is. He really is. All right, back to the ambulance. So Cope opens the show. There's an ambulance that backs into the parking lot. Cope's inside. He opens the doors. Says, Death Riders, just want to show you a ride for tonight, so keep that in mind. Later, we get a video package about Cope and Death Rider's story, and it kind of culminates in Claudio saying, Cope, you're not hunting us. I'm hunting you. So later on, we see Claudio backstage looking for Cope. Cope runs up on him. They start brawling. It all ends up towards the arena. Yuta's out there. He blasts Cope from behind. So he's getting beat up by the Death Riders. Jay White's music hits. That distraction allows Cope to get to his feet, and he blasts Yuta and Claudio with a chair and hits Claudio with a spear. Marina slides into the ring and puts a choke on Cope. Cope escapes right as Yuta rushes in with the knee plus, so he hits Marina with it. Mm. And then Jay's on the floor laughing, and then he gets in the ring.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So then Jay hits Yuta with a Blade Runner. Cope blasts Claudio with a chair, then hits him with a concerto. So Mox walks in through the crowd, and Jay's kind of like holding him back with the chair, like fending him off so he can't jump over the barricade and interfere. And then Cope sets up Marina for a concerto, and everybody on commentaries, don't do it. Don't do it, Cope. I'm sitting here thinking, don't do it, Cope. Willow's music hits. She comes to the ring, picks up a chair. She hits Marina with the concerto. Mm-hmm. So then later on, Marina and Claudio are loaded into the ambulance that Cope brought to the show. And then Willow, and Jay close the doors on the ambulance as it drives off.
I thought it was good, man. I thought it had like a good hook, so to speak. Had a good angle. It had the concerto. Oh my God, is he really going to do this? That's the kind of shit that you want, you know? It's like, oh my God, is this going to happen right now? And then you get the twist with Willow because she had gotten attacked last week. I wonder if we're going to get Willow versus Marina Shafir.
I hope so. Because
ideally at Revolution, we might get in Sacramento, though.
It's true. We could. State capital, after all.
It is the state capital of the world's fifth largest economy. This was kind of a foregone conclusion match, but goddamn, it was really good.
It was really good.
Orange Cassidy versus Konosuke Takeshita for the international title, of course. We all know this is going to be Takeshita versus Kenny Omega, but at Revolution. But the way they booked this match and the near falls that they had did have me thinking, are they going to do a weird title change here and then have them get it back on the go home in Sacramento?
State capital, you know.
State capital of the world's fifth largest economy, which we're going to be at, by the way. But no, didn't happen. Orange Cassidy lost. But I mean, God damn, this was a good match.
We got good matches out of this, international title invitational thing, whatever it was. Creatively, it didn't make a ton of sense. Matches were good. We knew it was going to be Takeshita versus Kenny at Revolution. But, I guess we got some good matches out of it. In the end, Takeshita wins with the twist in Falcon Arrow. But gosh darn, spectacular. Tons of great near falls. Go your way to watch it.
Yeah, it was just a really great match.
So after the Hangman stuff, they cut to, and it's just seamless stuff. It's just bang, 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 no commercial breaks in between. We see the Callis family, or at least Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher, sitting up in the luxury suite. And Fletcher's posing to the crowd. And Excalibur announces we're getting Ospreay versus Brian Keith. So we rewind earlier in the day. Renee's looking for an interview with Chris Jericho outside of his locker room. He exits. And he says, I know what you're doing. You want to apologize for the way you treated me last week. And Renee says, all right, fine. But how this match between Ospreay and Brian Keith comes together. And out come Don Callis and Mark Davis from Jericho's locker room. Callis says, Chris assured me that he's got the solution to this problem I have. I tried to handle the Ospreay problem in-house. My dudes have failed. He says Ospreay is a degenerate piece of garbage, so I need a bounty hunter to take care of it. And so Jericho says, at this stage of my career, I don't have to help anybody. But Brian Keith has what it takes to beat Ospreay tonight. Trust me, Don. Brian Keith is your man. So Callis leaves, and then Jericho basically slams the door in Renee's face.
Yeah.
And then we have that match next, Ospreay versus Brian Keith, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a great match. Ospreay he's that guy, man. He's that guy. Really good stuff. Obviously, Ospreay gets the win here with a hidden blade afterwards.
Oh, that finish was so good. The way he just went Styles Clash, bang, hidden blade. Yeah. No pause, just bang, bang.
That was sick. So yeah. After the match, we get a big brawl. Callis and Fletcher wave Ospreay up to their suite. Ospreay jumps the barricade. Fletcher meets him in the aisle. Big brawl happening there.
They got to save some of this exciting stuff for Dynamite next week when it's in the capital of California, Sacramento.
Brother, we're going to get the phone in. No, they got to look. They got to sell them pay-per-views, man. So
a lot of video packages, yeah.
Well, oh, God damn it.
We get a collision, too, with a double taping.
Heck yeah, man. Now I'm looking forward to that. We got to do a Friendo. We got to talk about a Friendo meetup. Sure. Outside the memorial or inside the memorial? Where do they sell hot dogs? This is what I like about the Memorial Auditorium. I love Golden One Center, and you get all sorts of great variety of foods there. I feel like
all the accoutrements of a modern arena, yeah.
Right. I feel like the Memorial, it's like, you want hot dogs or popcorn?
Oh, here's the thing. They renovated it since the last time we were there.
I know, but I kind of feel like they're not going to have too much variety in terms of the concessions, dude. It's going to be like, you want some M&Ms or some nachos?
Yeah, probably.
You want a can of soda?
Or they're not going to sell cans of anything, dude. That's a projectile.
Oh. Well, yeah, so is a cup.
Yeah, but it's not made of metal. If you don't open up a soda can.
Yeah, right.
That's heavy. You could chuck that and hurt somebody. You can't say the same about a cup.
Yeah. What about batteries? Do they sell batteries?
This is in Philadelphia. Although I guess some people brought their own batteries to that sport.
They did that. They did it in Boston, I think, for WrestleMania 14, because that was in Boston, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They did that, the pre-thing, the press thing, the event. Somebody threw a battery, and Shawn Michaels was like, I'm out of here. It sucks.
Well, the story is that I can't remember if it was it must have been an Eagles game where
Yeah.
the crowd started throwing batteries at Santa Claus.
Yeah, it was National Battery Day. And so they were just handing them out to everybody. I'm joking, but that's fucking funny. Oh, man.
At least that's the story. So we got a Momo Watanabe video package, and then we cut to Mercedes leaving her locker room. She tells the crowd to say hello to her CEO and says, Momo, I have to keep this real quick because I have deals to steal and a plane to catch. So did you show up tonight or not? He said, you made a mistake picking me. And so Billy Starks walks up to Mercedes. And Monet says, hey, kid, have you seen Momo? Because when you do, go fetch her. And then Billy has like a cup of water or something in her hand.
Not a can.
And Mercedes, what's that?
Not a can.
Cup.
A cup.
So Mercedes slaps it out of her hands and it goes all over Billy Starks.
Mm.
And Billy says, who do you think you are? And Mercedes says, I'm the Blueprint, the greatest TBS champ of all time, 4 belts Monet. And Billy says, I think you forgot one, narcissistic bitch. You know who I am. Ring of Honor superstar Billy Starks, future champion. If I were you, I'd watch your back. And as she's saying that, Momo walks up behind Mercedes with her bat. Mercedes turns around, sees her, leaves, because she's scared, drops the TBS title. So Momo picks it up and says, I want this title at Revolution. I'm taking it.
And she says, I'm going to go get some peanuts and some water. You want some peanuts?
So we got a match between the Outrunners and the Murder Machines with kind of a tag title shot on the line.
So is that what it was? Because I saw, yeah.
It wasn't official.
Okay.
It was the idea if they won, then they'd be in line potentially for a tag title shot.
I mean, they got to have the Hurt Syndicate there at Revolution.
It kind of feels like we might be getting a triple threat situation, given the finish of this. So Murder Machines are more or less dominating this match. Hurt Syndicate's music hits. This allows Turbo Floyd to roll up Lance Archer. Archer was going for a blackout.
Yeah.
Turbo rolls him up. Outrunners win. So it could be.
No, that could be. I mean, they might do, something in Sacramento in terms of like sorting all that out. But
capital, so.
That's like the most foregone conclusion triple threat. I mean, either way, if Outrunners versus Hurt Syndicate, that needs to be ugly.
Well, it's interesting that I would imagine the reason they would do a triple threat predominantly is because they want to an extent, protect Murder Machines.
Mm.
But then Archer gets rolled up here.
Yeah, I know, which kind of blows your theory out of the water.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why I bring it up.
Yeah, no, I know. You think they want to protect the Murder Machines against the Hurt Syndicate? If there's, you don't need to protect it. Those dudes are so legit. They're so over
I know.
the
And
top.
That's why I don't know why they'd feel the need to protect the Murder Machines.
I don't think it's that. I think maybe they just want to add, because everybody loves the Outrunners.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they just want to do that. Just add them to the match.
That could be.
Because look, I love Brian Cage and I love Lance Archer. I think they're terrific. Eliminate and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like that. If that's going to go on a Revolution, kind of lacking in the star power. And I'm not saying Outrunners really increases it, but it's like you add some more bench players to it, and
you rely on depth.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was going for.
That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Harley Cameron got a huge win over Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, man, dude. I hope. Give us some Harley Cameron in Sacramento.
Yes, I hope so. Her finisher is cool. It's like a Dragon Sleeper DDT type deal. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
It was cool. So Harley escapes an armbar, reverses that to a roll-up, gets a 2 there, then hits that Dragon Sleeper DDT type deal to get the win.
Taya was backstage watching, so maybe we'll get a rematch. Because wasn't that like the thing on the build to... I think they did that
Grand
match.
Slam is that Harley beat Taya to get the match with Mercedes.
Maybe we'll do that again.
And then for some reason, we had Undisputed Kingdom take on FTR and Daniel Garcia in trios action. The match was really good.
I'm assuming I didn't watch. And look, it's been on my radar to start checking out Collision because they're loading up some stuff next week.
Perfect opportunity.
That's right. Oh, we're going to be there for Cole and Garcia for the TNT title.
No, that happens this Saturday in Oakland.
God damn it. Okay. Well, hell. You want a hot dog and
We're
some
getting
peanuts?
a lot of recap packages, Steve. A lot of
Damn it, you're right. You want some nachos? There's a recap package. I'm gonna go to another thing of nachos now.
Yeah, you have like 10 plates, 10 things of nachos by the time the show's over.
Yeah, 5th Friendo meetup now of the show because another video package.
Yep.
What's up, Alto again?
Anyway, this match is really good. There's this. The finish was crazy because Dax puts Roderick Strong in a sharpshooter. Kyle O'Reilly puts a guillotine on Dax while Roddy's still in the sharpshooter, and then Cash puts Kyle in a abdominal stretch while he still has Dax in the guillotine, while Dax still has Roddy in the sharpshooter. So while that's happening, Garcia's looking for a pile driver on Adam Cole. Instead, Adam Cole counters with a jackknife pin to get the win. And Garcia did a great job of just being despondent over getting caught there. That was really good.
Yeah, he should be despondent over his entire run as TNT champion.
Yeah. So after the match, Garcia looks to shake Adam Cole's hand, and Kyle O'Reilly kicks Garcia's hand away, pushing and shoving. Starts. Cole breaks it up, and then basically immediately commentary announces that we're getting Garcia versus Cole in Oakland this Saturday on Collision, not next week from Sacramento, state capital of California.
Yeah. Okay, so we got a super chat here from Deathronic78. Says, in other news, how about that Big Show J-Lo relationship?
What?
Okay, so I looked this up really quick just to see what's going on here because I hadn't heard about this. But I saw that 28 days ago in the wrestling subreddit, and maybe this had gotten around other places, I don't know, but somebody posted a picture of the Big Show and Jennifer Lopez looking like they were being kind of familiar with each other. What is... So it says the picture's at least 4 years old.
I mean, this is like a situation where they were somewhere and then just like said hi and hugged maybe. Maybe they know each other. I don't know.
This is from January 2020. So just before COVID hit. But it also, the dang MQ says probably AI. I think back then, like there had been, yeah, her arm does, well, maybe not. He's got
like his fingers
got
look
the
normal,
picture,
yeah. And if it was AI, the fingers would have looked all messed up if this was from 4 years ago.
Unless it was like a seriously Photoshop. I mean, it's not really that difficult to Photoshop, just to be honest with you. Like the Photoshop the date is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know. This is very curious. Warrants additional research for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a situation where they just know each other. They ran into each other out in LA somewhere and said hello. That's could be the extent of it.
Or it could be a lot more than that.
I mean, it could.
Well,
I don't know.
Again, worth more research.
Anyways, that was Dynamite. Let's talk NXT. So we're getting Stephanie Vaquer versus Julia, not somewhere down the line. We're getting it in 2 weeks, and apparently it's happening. I think it's according to PW Insider because Julia has an injury.
Yeah, that's crazy. She's got an injury, so they're going to put her in a match.
Well, I guess the idea is she's injured, not so injured that she can't wrestle like soon, but injured enough that needs to be addressed, so she needs to miss time.
She's beat up.
And so they're having this match, I guess, for Stephanie to win and be champ.
That's kind of awesome. Stephanie is supremely over.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like Julia's not, but it does kind of feel like, and I don't know, maybe it's because she didn't get, some people will like get behind whoever didn't get the huge push, she got the North American push. Or it's just her presentation's off the charts.
Really is.
Like she is, I kind of understand it.
And she's a phenomenal wrestler. Absolutely phenomenal.
So much fun. She's so much fun. Okay, so Vermillion says PW Insider posted that Julia's injury isn't serious. She just had bumps and bruises. So we'll take time off, I guess. I don't know. That's what Vermillion's saying. Yeah, I was surprised to see this. And then when you see what's going on, it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense. At first I thought, oh, somebody's getting a call up. But regardless, if this main event's, because it's going to be Roadblock, right?
Yeah, it's going to 2 weeks at Roadblock. That was kind of the major news coming out of NXT is, save for this match, Stephanie versus Julia. They're kind of booking Roadblock as kind of the Worlds Collide show that we want. We're getting Oba versus Moose. We're getting Fraxium versus the Hardys. Maybe some additional matches to be announced. But, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
It is. It's cool. also teased Trick Williams' heel turn. Upset with his losses as of recent. Javon
maybe
Evans.
instead of getting called up, they're going to handle his character arc similar to Braun Breaker, because that's kind of what Braun's thing was. He started out as babyface, won the title, lost it, won it back, lost the title, and then he turned heel and was NXT for a while longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah. That could be. I mean, I don't know. I've seen some criticism of this. I just feel like it's not a terrible move to, while you're in still the developmental brand, explore different aspects of your personality and character before you go to main roster.
It worked out for Braun.
It did.
Because he got called up as kind of generic babyface Braun Breaker. I don't know. He certainly wouldn't be Intercontinental Champion within a matter of months of getting called up.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that I don't think Trick could be wildly successful now if he got called up, because I think he could. But you're right. It gives people an opportunity to explore their character more in NXT before getting called up, and I can see the benefits of that.
It's the whole point of the brand, basically, is to develop these characters for their main roster run.
Or maybe just the idea is that he has a quick heel turn, leading up to Stand Deliver, loses to Obafemi, gets called up, and he and Carmelo, they patch things up. They're a duo again.
I would love that, them as a heel group. And I say group, not tag team.
Yeah.
I don't want them. I just want them to be singles guys who help each other. There's not like a lot of that, is there?
Mm-mm.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. Carmelo needs that, by the way. Get him out of this Miz thing.
I guess let's jump into it. So, as mentioned, we're getting Stephanie versus Julia. So the show opens up with Stephanie defending the North American title against Carmen Petrovich. It's a good match.
Yeah, this was a really good match.
Stephanie wins after a dragon screw in the corner and a package backbreaker. So
and a middle finger too. Did you see that? She had some stank on it. She was like, she did this and then killed her with that finish of hers.
So then Julia walks to the ring and says, "Congrats, Stephanie. You say you're the best champion, but you are not. I am." So Stephanie says, "La Prima means champion of champions." And Julia says, "Why don't we find out who the best woman is?" And Stephanie says, "Julia, we're friends, but title for title, champion versus champion." Later on, Ava has an interview. Talking about Roadblock, mentions Moose versus Oba, Fraxium versus the Hardys. She also announced title versus title, champion versus champion, Julia versus Stephanie. One thing that could happen is they book this match. Yeah, maybe not. I was thinking maybe Jordynne Grace gets involved somehow, but she's a baby face, so I don't know how that would happen. To wonk the finish, so stand deliver. We get a triple threat between all three of them.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing, though. I don't think this is a situation you really need to wonk a finish. You know what I mean? Like Stephanie beating Julia clean. That's fine. They're both huge stars.
I guess I thought of that scenario with Jordynne interfering before learning that Julia was hurt.
Yeah. Also, like you said, she's a good guy. I don't know if you necessarily need to do that. She's got Roxanne Perez coming up. When do you think they're going to do that match?
I mean, that could be a roadblock.
Yeah, because I feel like Stan and Roxanne's going to have a busy schedule because, as you've said in the past, it's possible they do Roxanne versus Bayley at WrestleMania. And then she does Jordynne Grace at Stand and Deliver too. That'd be nuts. That'd be absolutely crazy.
It would be.
Yeah. Moose defended his X Division title against Lexis King.
Another good match.
Moose with probably my favorite spear in the business. Got the win with that spear. Obafemi comes out. Says, "I see you made it past Lexus, but now that he is out of the way, let's focus on this because this is what everybody wanted, right? This is the match to make." Ava made it official. In 2 weeks at Roadblock, it's going to be the face of the franchise versus the ruler for the NXT title and the X Division title. Title for title. In a collision nobody's seen before.
It's interesting they made that one title for title. Because in the tag title match, it's Fraxium challenging the Hardys for the TNA tag championships, but the NXT ones aren't on the line, which kind of seems like the Hardys are going to win that then.
Yeah. Yeah, especially, I think, was it WrestleVotes? I don't know. Bob WrestleVotes? Somebody said that they're looking at the Hardys for like another main roster run, which would make total sense. They look really good in their match. I hadn't seen them wrestle in a bit, but they looked really good.
Yeah, that match was tons of fun, yeah.
It was. Yeah, so Obafemi, as much as I would love it to be Moose, I'm rooting for Moose in that match. But Oba's going to win. Oba's the expert. I mean, could they wonk the finish? They could.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
With who or how? Trick.
Yeah.
Trick. They could do Trick.
Yeah. Or Eddie.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Oh, Edub says, Oba says Titan versus Titan. So it isn't title versus title.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I was typing here, so sometimes when I type, I miss some stuff. So.
Okay. Well,
all right, it's not title versus title, and Oba wins. Yeah.
Forget that conversation. Obafemi just wins. Yeah, we mentioned Roxanne versus Jordan Grace. So Jordan Grace comes to the ring for a promo. Says, the first time I stepped foot in a WWE ring, I knew it exactly was where I belonged. I walked in as an outsider carrying the weight of an entire company on my back, but after spending some time in the NXT locker room, I knew I had to be a part of it. So it was like when I saw how they deal with the women's division, the main roster, it was like, I got to be here. He said after spending some time in the NXT locker, he said, I didn't hesitate because I had one singular goal to become a champ in what I believe is the best women's division in the world. Now, last time I was standing here is between two women who are like nothing we've ever seen before. But I know that Julie and Stephanie felt the shift. They felt the foundation beginning to crack when I arrived, and I heard what they had to say earlier. It's just a matter of time before I'm standing in the ring, not next to them, but across the ring from them. Then she's interrupted by Roxanne, who says, Jordan, I want to be the first to say welcome back. I knew you'd come back eventually, and it only makes sense that you outgrew where you came from, and everybody knows this is the place to be. I heard you talk about putting brands on backs, and that's what we've done for the past. That's what I've done for the past 12 months. It's one thing to be on top of the TNA Knockouts division, but this is my division. You don't get to come in and go after my title. And Grace says, if this is yours division, where's your title? Press says, oh, the title you couldn't beat me for? You literally just got here, so don't make me send you back to TNA. So there's a gap between us. That's why I'm going to go to the chamber, and I'm going to win and go to Mania and become the women's champ. And if I feel like I may just become a 3-time NXT women's champ. And Grace says, there's a famous saying, and you might know it. It goes, everyone has a plan until, whoop-ah! And then she punches Roxanne.
Yeah.
And then Roxanne gets out of there.
Yep. So then our main event for the night was Ricky Saints and Javon Evans taking on Ethan Page and Wesley. Before that, we're backstage. Trick is on his phone. He's reading comments about his loss.
He needs to stay off that social media, man.
Yep.
You got to stay off it.
So then Javon walks up and says, hey, don't worry about it. I feel like we got a lot in common. We're the same.
Mm-hmm.
And Trick's like, we're the same? You're fighting over a smile. I'm fighting for the NXT title. And then Trick tells Evans, stay in your lane. And Evans gets in his face. So the Ricky Saints steps in and tries to introduce himself to Trick. Trick kind of blows him off. And Saints like, is everyone angry around here?
Everybody's just mad around here, man.
Yeah. Later on, we get an Eddie Thorpe video package. He says, talking about how there was once a time when his people stood proudly on this land until they were removed and displaced out west. He says, that reminds me of how I beat Trick at Vengeance Day, and yet the powers that be. Yeah, I know.
You can't. Man, I get it. And I think it's cool that he's representing something we don't see a lot in pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make that comparison. You can't do that, man.
So he says, the powers that be want to deny me a title shot. And he's like, Trick, if you want to wrestle again, I'll wrestle you.
Yeah. And then we get that main event. It's wildly fun. God, dude, when Wes Lee got caught by Ricky Saints, my knees exploded watching that because, I think the idea was Ricky was going to catch him straight up.
For the Rochambeau, yeah.
God damn. He was a little short. Wesley was a little short from where Saints was.
Yeah.
And so he had to lean forward a little bit to get him on his shoulder, which is still wildly impressive. But, he landed in a sitting position and then he powered him back up. Again, very impressive. But my God, to see him do that, my knees were just hurting.
Well, didn't he power him up and then had to turn him around? Because when he
Yeah.
picked up Wes,
He was
he was
stomach
face down as opposed to
Yeah.
face up, which has to be the case for
And he
most
got
of
up
them.
and it was flawless. And, Wes
It
probably
really
is
was.
a big part of that.
Yeah.
And then, as Burwinning here says, the crowd started chanting, Tony fumbled during this. Fumbled to Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm. Hardys, yes, they made their return to the WWE, taking on No Quarter Catch Crew. This match was
hold
really
on.
good.
Sorry. Gotta interrupt you real quick. What did you think of Ricky Starks' his new entrance theme?
I thought the theme was fine. The Tron needs work.
It's just like two silhouettes of him doing his pose, right?
But not even like that pose. It's like when he's coming down from the pose and he's got the fist. Because he does this and then does that.
Yeah, okay.
Why not this?
The closed fist is very powerful.
It is. But it's like the finish. It's like he's culminating the pose while in the midst of it. You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, it is a shame, and I'm sure it's because his AEW theme was a Mikey Ruckus thing. They own it.
Oh, it was phenomenal. The Tron was good too.
Oh, the Tron, because it looked like a Tron.
Yeah,
car.
it was very futuristic.
Well, yeah.
This looks like they had a template for, like, I don't know, Fandango.
It did. Yeah, you're
replaced
right.
the silhouettes.
Yeah.
Because the font was terrible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The theme was fine. The Tron was not good.
It's hard to follow up that AEW theme.
Oh, it really is.
It's really, like, you can't. It's fine.
What they should have done is said, Ricky, here's a couple $1,000. Go shoot your own Tron.
I don't think he wants to, though.
He's so good at that stuff, though.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do that. Here's a couple $1,000. Yeah, I don't know. They got to start doing some licensing. What licensed music would you give Ricky Saints? Dun 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 dun.
I don't know. License the Mikey Ruckus theme. It's so good.
Oh man. How about I don't know why this is stuck in my head. I was just thinking of like saxophones for some reason.
All right.
What about Huey Lewis? I need a new drug. Or I want a new drug. I want a new drug. Yeah, I don't think it'd work as a theme.
What about
song.
the Heart of Rock and Roll if you're talking about Huey Lewis songs?
I mean, at that point, just do the Back to the Future thing.
Power of Love.
Power of Love, yeah. This is the power of Saints.
All right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. None of that works. Just get.
Well, if he's really, how about this? If he's really embracing
Careless Whisper.
the saxophone.
That's the horniest theme I've ever heard in my life.
If he's really embracing being from New Orleans, Curious Quarter Right says from John Mellencamp, authority song for Ricky Saints' entrance. I fought authority always wins. No, that doesn't fit for Ricky
John
Saints.
Mellencamp.
If he's really embracing being from New Orleans,
Little ditty about
Get
Ricky
some Lil Wayne.
Saints.
a musical luminary from New Orleans.
Yeah. I don't know if that fits, man. Little ditty about Ricky Saints.
I don't think that's going to work either.
I'm hip to B squared.
Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah, I thought about that one too if we're doing Huey Lewis songs.
Dang MQ says Master P. Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah, it's a hard spot to be in when you have such a great theme song.
It is.
Speaking of great theme songs, the Hardys took on the
No Quarter Catch Crew, Steve.
the North Quarter Catch California crew. Yeah. Obviously, the NQCC took the L here. But Fraxium, who was sitting ringside watching this shit, get in there, congratulate the Hardys. Matt's like, yes, thank you. We love NXT. We've watched you, and you're killing it. Frazier says, we're standing here as the greatest tag team today, face to face with the greatest tag team ever. And Jeff busts out a bit of a let me tell you something promo. He says, enough with the small talk. Let's find out who's the greatest tag team right now. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And then Santino comes out And he says, I've been talking with Ava, and at Roadblock, it's going to be Fraxium versus the Hardys for the TNA tag titles.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, doom.
Got another good suggestion from EW here about a Ricky Starks theme, Juvenile.
Okay, there you go.
Be good.
It's no Huey Lewis.
We got a match between Lola Vice and Ariana Grace that was set up earlier when Ariana and Santino were out in Cincinnati. That's where the show came from. And let's talk about the X Division match that was being defended that evening, as well as the Hardys match. Lola steps in, says, I'm looking for a fight. And Ariana's like, we're not taking meetings right now. And that's when Lola says, well, how about I have a match against you? And Ariana says, well, I've never been so insulted. And Lola says, I'll see you in the ring. Match happens. And Lola gets the win with a back fist, spinning back fist. And after Lola wins, the camera cuts backstage and sees No Quarter Catch crew all laid out at the hands of New Faction.
Man, they got to stop doing Ariana Grace so dirty like this. Not even one hope spot.
Yeah,
like nothing in this match.
I know.
She's so great, too.
Her
theme is so awesome. It's like a pageantry music kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, that bums me out.
We got more of the Kalani and Jada Parker beef.
This time on a bus.
Yeah, it starts out at the bus. So Ariana and Kalani are sitting next to each other on the bus to the venue. And then Ariana asks her about Kalani. And so while Kalani's expressing her feelings about Jada Parker, who's like 3 rows behind them on the opposite side of the bus, stands up, says, are you talking about me? And they start arguing. And like Ren Sinclair got up to try to break up something if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So then later on, Jada has this great interview. It says, Kalani messed up. Kalani, you lost your mind when you lost your title. Your lack of confidence isn't my problem. She says, that North American title match, the one that Carmen lost, that was mine. That was supposed to be mine. So Kalani, there's a him in WWE, but you ain't her. You got to understand why I don't play.
Mm-hmm. The problem is she was like clowning around. She hit that, move that could be a finish, and then she just started clowning around.
Yeah.
You got to go for the pin, man. That's your fault. Anyways, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are back in NXT. This is pretty funny stuff. So you see this happen over the weekend. Sol and Zarya are in the trainer's room because Zarya sprained her wrist doing the training on the beach. Piper walks in as Chelsea's Secret Service, tells everybody to clear the room. Everybody does except for Zarya and Sol. Chelsea walks in. She's like, you guys need to leave. Sol's like, you have no standing here because we've won 2 tag matches. When's the last time you won a tag match? And she says, you guys are destined for failure. And Zarya basically says, let's have a match. And Piper just accepts it. And Chelsea's like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Yeah. So that should be fun.
All right, we got to talk about this. What'd you think of this Spears family video package, Steve?
Brooks no longer looks like a werewolf, so that's good.
True.
That's sort of the biggest thing to come out of this is that he got a haircut and then trimmed up his beard.
Yeah, well, to a certain extent, every member of Spears family has a bit of a makeover heading into this feud with the
did
D'Angelo
Nico
family.
really have a makeover? He went from a white
really.
shirt to a black shirt.
Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, Brooks Jensen, starkest one, but...
I feel like, shouldn't they have saved that for like a face turn?
Well, I think Spears is trying to present his crew as more business-oriented.
Yeah.
So I get it. But yeah, it was Brooks had the most dramatic shift in presentation. So anyways, he's talking about each member of his crew, and he says, my family is complete, and my new family is going to take over NXT. The only thing left to do is take the North American title next week. So then later on, we have a D'Angelo family dinner. They're all sitting there save for Tony. So eventually Tony walks in. Stacks apologizes for losing last week, and Tony says, hey, I appreciate what you did. I had to lay low. Spears is a smart guy, a tough guy, and I'm going to handle him next week. Stacks is like, oh, you should wait in the condition you're in. I don't think that's a good idea. And Lucas says, hey, he's the Don. He makes the decisions. And Tony says, no, don't quiet Stacks. He's the underboss. He should have a say in things, but I need to handle this myself.
Mm-hmm.
That was NXT.
Yep. Yeah. Would you like to answer some questions?
Answer some questions, yeah.
All right. Let's do it. Got to get to the right thing here. View channel. Nope, that's not the right thing.
Luis here says, is it a good idea to have Option C be eligible for any NXT Championship? But should Moose use Option C on the NXT Championship? Well, the match is already for the NXT Championship, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's not for. It's Titan for Titan, not title for title.
Yeah, and I believe the title on the
One
line
title.
is the NXT title.
Singular. Yeah. Should he be able to use that? Yeah, sure. Why not? Go after the Heritage Cup because
Sure.
he already beat Lexus King.
Yeah, yeah. It's too bad you can't use Option C retroactively. Like he beats Lexus King and says, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah.
But isn't Heritage Cup kind of a step down from X Division title?
I mean, I think that's what we decided, right?
Yeah, in terms of the
Heritage title is like the digital media title.
Yeah, it's in the hierarchy of titles in NXT.
So really, he'd be like, "Let me take on Tony D for the North American title."
Yeah,
easy
at
win
least
for
that is a
Fenix.
lateral move. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. AJ Otani says, "What factions across promotions would you like to see team up, like the Learning Tree and Callis family? I want to see House of Torture team up with Sean Spears' group."
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oof.
They can have the glow
American Made and No Quarter Catch Crew.
Oh, that's actually really good. DJ Fluffy says, since WrestleMania is multiple nights, should they do different venues like night 1 from New York, night 2 in LA?
I mean, that could be interesting, but I'm guessing they don't because, logistically, that's like double the crews, double the stages.
It's a lot.
It's double everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm guessing probably not. Chadwick Hughes here says, if Steve and Larson had an In Your House pay-per-view named after them, similar to In Your House Rock Bottom, what would the name be?
In Your House, Sacramento.
In Your House, capital of California.
Yeah, yeah. Capital of California Collision.
Sure, yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, interesting. My spirit animal is a Dorito says, which video game character do you most identify with? Max Payne from Max Payne 3. Because wasn't he like overweight and kind of over it all?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Wait, what are you saying?
Talking about me.
Yeah. Are you over this?
No. No.
It's not a convincing no.
No.
I'm going to say Robin Stevens, when we made Robin Stevens. I feel like I have a lot in common with Robin Stevens.
Boy, that was funny.
That was a lot of fun.
It was like the one awesome video we did during in between Machinima and
like the one inspired thing we did. Yeah. Film critic says reports are true and champion versus champion is the way to go because of an injury. Do you see the NXT North American Championship being dropped after Roadblock and a new tournament being set up that's going to finish with the title match at Stand and Deliver? Or they rather go with the double title reign again? So is Stephanie going to have to vacate the women's North American title if she beats Julia for the top title, or is she just going to carry both titles?
She ain't going to lose to anybody, so she'll probably just vacate it.
Yeah, if they go that route, they might have her be double champ.
Could be.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Remster says, where does Randy Orton fit into this year's Mania?
I guess he could face Kevin Owens if Kevin and Sammy are one and done at Chamber.
Yeah, dude. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't.
Ryan here says, what is your favorite moment with the Enforcer? There's so many.
Oh my gosh, what?
There's so many. Oh, it's him winning Mania predictions though. That's got to be it.
Yeah, I think I'll counter that with the Triple Mania stream.
Yeah.
I laughed probably the hardest I've ever laughed. I went back and watched that video again not today. Like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, last week, something like that. Gosh, darn it, that was funny. Oh, it hurt. I was laughing so hard. This my guy bit. That was so funny. And then, dude, I mean, obviously, me and him did the Unsolved Mystery streams, and that was such a good time. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I don't. There's no singular memory, man.
No, there's not. Miss him. Luis here says, can you create a worse 6-match NXT TNA Worlds Collide card? I got the main event.
Yeah.
Is Ed Edwards versus Brooks Jensen. It's battle of the. Well, I guess Brooks isn't as
Can't
werewolf.
do it now. That's a missed opportunity. They should
They
have
should have done
done.
that. They should have
They
done
should
that.
have done like a werewolf hair
Battle of
versus
the werewolves. Yeah.
Yeah. Loser has to revert to human.
There you go.
Cameron Shank says, if you could pick one current WWE mid-carder to pull a Drew/Cody and leave, who would you pick? Who do you think could go away and come back just absolutely monsters?
I gotta look at the roster. Do you have a name in mind?
No, I don't. I'm trying to think of one. Like maybe Damian Priest. I know he's already been world champion. He's been kind of like, he's been a big deal. But I feel like he's already peaked. Yeah. And I'm thinking that if he went away and came back like a little, I don't know. I don't even know what. Grittier. I don't know. I think maybe him. Dude, did you see the trailer for that Karrion Kross movie?
No, I haven't.
I'll send it to you. It like legitimately looks really good. He plays a guy who's trying to help an addict get better.
I got a name.
Yeah.
Montez.
Oh, wow. Oof. Yeah. I could see that. Joe the Meme Maker with all the pie chat recently. What's better, cold or warm pizza?
Oh, hot. Hot pizza's better.
When you put leftover pizza in the air fryer for like 2 minutes the next day,
it's like fresh pizza.
Literally brand new.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
crazy.
like microwave pizza. I'd rather have cold pizza than microwave pizza. But if you got an air fryer, put that day-old pizza in the air fryer and it's good.
Yeah.
There's a good question here from Sebastian Garcia. What song would play during the WrestleMania video package for Steve versus Larson?
Wow, what a great question.
TV party?
Frank Black's Headache.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh man, that's funny. Anyways, Plus Crier, the most mellow video package. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. No show tomorrow because we've got Elimination Chamber on Saturday. So please join us for that. It should be a lot of fun. Over at the Friendo Club Wrestling channel, last night we uploaded We Book the Worst Elimination Chamber match. It's a lot of fun, that video. And then later on today, we have another one going up where we talk about who would be the best, worst, and most surprising corporate champions under The Rock. So be sure to check that channel out as well. We got a lot of fun stuff over there. So, lots of Steve and Larson options for your viewing pleasure. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll see you guys around.